Hello everyone, let's continue our VMware Workstation learning. So to give you an introduction, VMware Workstation is a very powerful tool, but an easy to use virtualization software. This software allows you to run multiple machines or multiple operating systems in a single machine or in a single computer. Okay, it creates virtual machines that works like real machines, although they are consuming resource, but they are sharing resource with each other, and they are sharing resource with the host. Okay, and also VMware Workstation saves a lot of time, money and effort, especially in a secure and reliable platform for innovation and as well as investigation and discovery. Okay, so let us start with the first VMware installation that we will use. In this uh, in this video, we will learn how to install our first Ubuntu Linux. Okay, we have on the screen the VMware Workstation Pro. Okay, this is the software that we will use in virtualization. Okay, before we can create a new virtual machine, we should have our installer. So the first thing we will do is we will try to download. Okay, we will go to the ubuntu.com. If you type here, I'm already in the page, but if you type ubuntu.com, there's a download here, download Ubuntu desktop. You click on it, and then we download, and then it will start. The download will actually start after that one. So I will post this one and I'll close the browser. Why? Because I have already previously downloaded the installer. I have it here. Okay, so that we will save time in downloading. Okay, so we will create a new virtual machine. You can have this one. Sometimes if you don't see this, you can just go here in File, New Virtual Machine. You click on this, and you will have two types of installation. What type of installation or configuration you want to use? You can use the typical, which is the recommended one, and the custom. The difference between the two, typical is that it will create you a virtual machine that is designed to the operating system that you are going to install. While in custom, you will be the one to design how much memory, how much CPU you will allocate for that particular virtual machine. So in this course, we will use the typical. Okay, we click next. Then we have here the guest operating system installation. So where will we install? Is it from the installer disk, which normally we don't have? Uh, Nowadays, CD-ROM and CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drives are already obsolete. Okay, we will go to the installer disk image, which is the file that we have just downloaded. So we will use this one. I cannot use this. I will not. I will install the operating system later. No, we will use this. Is installer this image file. So we have to browse, search for the download page where the ISO is located or the installer. We select the file and we click open, and then continue the installation, clicking the next button, and then it will ask us for the easy install information, asking for the full name. You can always type your full name and your username. Okay, the username is the one that you will use when you log in, and then the password. Just remember your password that you are typing because it will be needed when you log in. And then the virtual machine name, we can put here Ubuntu Linux. And then the location. The location is very important for one factor. The location should be a place wherein you have enough space so that the virtual disk will be created. because if you will use a a storage disk that is a very short or small size, okay, you will run off this space. Okay, so in here I will use the data wherein I already have here an Ubuntu test, but I will make another folder for Ubuntu Linux. Okay, I will create one and then I will just click OK. So I have selected this. You will see it here. It is in the drive E. This is the Ubuntu Linux. And we click next. And then the size of the virtual disk that you will use. Okay, I will use here not the default. The default is 20. That is for a every time it will assign you. If you use the typical, it will give you an estimate of the minimum disk that you can allocate for that operating system. Okay, I can use 30 or 40 depending on what you want to use. Okay, so I will just put 20, which is the default, and then we have here two types of how you will store the file or the virtual disk inside your storage. Okay, you have the a single file or the multiple files. One makes advantage of the other depending on the size of the virtual disk that you will be using. Normally, for small files, I prefer to use a single file. While for large files, for example, if you will have to create virtual disks that have a size of 10 terabyte, then you will have to split them in multiple files so that it will be easier to handle and to manage whenever you want to move another file to another storage. We click next. We will use the store virtual disk on a single file, and we click next. Then here we can modify again the parameters of our virtual machine. Okay, so these are the virtual machine specs that we have chosen previously. So you can customize it again. Then, as I have said, if you use the typical, it will assign you directly how much memory will be used or will be assigned, and how many CPUs will be assigned to the machine. In here, you can see that I can also escalate, vertically the machine. I can increase up to 8 gigabyte or 16 gigabyte the size of the machine. But since this is a Linux test server, we will just put it in 4 gigabyte. And for the number of processors, this will depend on how much processor you have in your system. Okay, so we will close and we click finish. And that's it. We have our virtual machine, but we don't have yet the operating system installed in our virtual machine. We only have the VM. Okay, so it is booting right now. It is starting or loading the operating system. Okay, so we will wait for this. I will just close this one. Okay, so you have there the Ubuntu 24.04. That is the ISO that we have just loaded in the system. Okay, if you see these errors, it is telling me that SM bus host controller is not enabled. It doesn't affect the operating system. Okay, as soon as the live CD, because this is a live CD, it will start. It will load the operating system, which means we can have an operating system without installing it. Okay, that is the Ubuntu desktop. Okay, so now we have the Ubuntu Live CD loaded in our system, but we need to install because every time if you use a live CD, remember that you are loading an ISO file, which is an unwritten disk. Okay, you cannot write anything. So any changes that you make in the system, any file that you will make inside will be loaded in a temporary disk that if you shut down the machine, it will be lost. So it's preparing the Ubuntu. If we will see the installer button, then we can start to install. Okay, so it is asking us for the language. Okay, we don't have any accessibility like seeing, hearing. This is for disabled persons. We have here the keyboard layout. So depending on the keyboard that you use. Next, and then we have here the type of connection that we have. I don't have a Wi-Fi in this desktop that I'm using. We will use the wired connection. We click next, and we will not update because if we start to update, it will download all of the available updates in the repository of Ubuntu. So we just skip this, and then we will be asked if we will install the Ubuntu or try the Ubuntu. If you will choose try Ubuntu, you can explore and test all the features of Ubuntu has, but you are using an Ubuntu Live CD. Okay, as I have said, you cannot save anything, any changes that you will make. The time you will shut down your machine, all of those will disappear. Okay, we have the install Ubuntu. So we click in install Ubuntu, we click next. Then we have to um, like how to install the Ubuntu. You can use the interactive or the automated installation. The automated installation normally are being used by system administrators to accelerate and to install faster their installations. If you are installing like thousands of computers of an Ubuntu Linux, if you will use the interactive, it will be introducing one by one all the data that is needed for you to start the installation. While if you have a file, because in automated installation, you will choose a file, an auto install YAML file that you will just load it and it will install according to the specs that you have designed inside this file. So in here, we will use the interactive installation. So we click next. Now you have the default selection and the extended selection. This is the applications that will be installed inside. You can install the minimum number of applications that you can use because you know if you have already the operating system running, you can always install and uninstall softwares inside the system. So we will just use the default selection. We click next. Then here you can install a third party softwares to support your Wi-Fi or your video card. Okay, but in this we will not install anything because we will not be needing it in this session. But you can, as I have said, in any operating system, you can install now or you can install after having the operating system running. So we will click next, and then in here, this is how you manage the storage disk that you have chosen or created in your virtual machine. We have created like a 20 gigabyte disk storage. So you can either use the easy way, okay, or if you can use the manual, you have to know how to partition a Linux storage disk. That you have to assign the boot partition, you have to assign the data or the root partition, and then the rest. If you want to have each partition for the user partition and for the slash var and the slash tmp, the temporary folder. So it depends on how you want to dimension your virtual machine or your Linux machine. So in this case, we will use only the easy way, which is the erase the disk and install Ubuntu, start from scratch. Okay, so this will automatically partition and assign each partition to the disk that we have just created before. Okay, we click next, and then we have to create an account. Okay, this account will be the one that will be running inside or be created inside the operating system. So create your account. I will use my name, and then in here you can change this, your computer's name. I will just use Ubuntu Linux. Okay, and then this is the username. You can change it as well. But remember that the username will be the one that you will use when you log in. And then we use our password. Okay, and then require my password to log in to be sure that nobody can log into your virtual box every time you log into your system. So it will ask you. Okay, this will ask the username and the password. And then the use Active Directory, if this is the Active Directory wherein you manage all the objects inside a network. Normally, this is the ones that are added only in Active Directory are the Microsoft workstations and servers that can be added to an Active Directory. But for Ubuntu, Ubuntu has been designed as well to be able to join an Active Directory. Actually, all Linux machines can be added to Active Directory, and also um, a known Mac OS also are able to be added as well in the Active Directory right now. Okay, so we click next, and then your time zone. Okay, the time zone is where you are located, so that the clock that you have will coincide with your location. So if you are located somewhere in the US, then you just click on the city or on the state you are. If you are in Asia, then you can use whatever, wherever you want to be situated. Depends on where you are. Okay, so I will choose Madrid, Spain, because I'm in Madrid, Spain. So we click next, and then we have here our choices. Okay, the parameters that there is. Normally, these are the ones that are being written in the auto installed YAML file. Okay, we click install, and it will start to make the installation. Okay, since this will take a little long, I will to save time in the video. I will pause the video and continue after this is being installed. Okay. Okay, so the installation is done. So you will have this image in the screen. So you can continue testing the Ubuntu Live, or you can just restart and use the installed version of the Ubuntu. So if we try to restart, let's see if it will reboot the machine, and we can see that we are already loading our virtual machine with the operating system that is installed. Okay, so we have the Ubuntu loading. Let's wait until the operating system is loaded. Okay, now as you can see, I have here my username, and if you click on it, it will ask you the password. Okay, the password for the user. Remember the password that you have typed before. Okay, so I'll type the password, and then you just press the enter key. And Now we have our operating system, our Ubuntu desktop. Okay, so we can click next. This is an introduction. There will be like an introduction of the operating system. You can always skip it. Okay, you can use the Ubuntu Pro if you want to go to the Pro version. We skip this one. You can help improve the Ubuntu if you want to help the Ubuntu team innovate and make their Ubuntu better. So you can share your data. Normally, people now don't want to share anything, so don't share anything if you want. Then next, and then finish. Okay, this Open App Center. If you press this one, although it is also somewhere here, the ops. This one is this one, software updater, and then there should be an icon here where you can install all the applications. Okay, so if you open this, okay, then this is the ops center wherein you can search for any application that you want to install. Yeah, you can install the Spotify. You can install mm, anything that uh, for drawing or anything that any software that you want to be installed. You have it here. Okay, we have to finish, and you have it here. If you can see, there's a like a triangle green button here, which means that your operating system or your virtual machine is running. So if you want to test if this is really the operating system that you have installed, you can shut down the machine, okay, with this button, and then this, and then you can power it off. Power it off. So as soon as that this is powered off, we can edit the machine. So as you can see here, this is the virtual machine. We can always edit it, and then we can detach the CD-ROM. As you can see, it's not connected, but we can switch to use physical drive to be sure that this ISO is not loading. Okay, so we just press OK, and that's it. We don't have any of the ISO, and let's try to power it up again and see if our system is loading. Okay, so we have again our system. Okay, so here ends now our session with installing the Ubuntu desktop. In the next videos, I will show you how to install a virtual machine, a Windows. Maybe I will use the Windows Server 2022 server to create a virtual machine. Okay, so thank you, and please subscribe if you have time. Okay, thank you very much, and have a nice day.